Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a tutorial on a full coverage flawless base without looking or feeling cakey. This is a zero cake full coverage flawless base tutorial. I'm also going to be covering all of the prep steps with you guys because I think that is just as important, if not more important, than the actual application and products that you use. It all starts with starting off with a good base. So I'm going to be sharing all the bases with you guys. So if you're interested, please be sure to keep watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like me and you like my channel, and subscribe to my channel if you guys haven't already. Firstly, I just want to say sorry about the wood chipper over there. The neighbors are having landscaping done right now, but I don't film in a professional studio like a lot of other YouTubers do, so real life noises get in my videos, and there's a wood chipper right there, but hopefully it's not too unbearable for you guys. So I started off by cleansing and washing my skin. I do this every time I do my makeup. I start off with clean, just washed skin. I know I don't put that in all my tutorials, but that would just take forever if I showed you guys the prep steps leading up to makeup application, so I figured it'd be perfect to do a video on it. So my face is just washed, and I did put on a little bit of moisturizer just so my skin wouldn't feel super tight in between getting ready to film this video. And I'm first going to go in with the steps that I do before makeup application after cleansing my skin. So morning and night I use lotion P50, the original 1970. No, yeah, 1970. Up on a little cotton round. Wood chipper, front and center, I told you. I think that might actually be a weed whacker. But so after I cleanse my skin, before I do makeup, I always like to use a little bit of a toner. This one's by Milk Makeup. This is their matcha toner, and I just expose the product and apply it all over my face. Now this is more like a balm, so it's really hydrating, and if you have dry skin like me, then you'll really like this. So just apply it all over the skin. And then I use my fingers to just kind of tap it in. And then I like to go in with a little bit of eye cream. So this one's from Perricone MD. It's the oil-free hydrating cream. And I'll just take a little bit and apply this right under my eyes, just so that my under eyes stay nice and hydrated all day. And it just makes them extra kind of like moist and plump for makeup application, just so that makeup goes on a lot more seamlessly. So I always do eye cream before makeup. Guys, I need lip balm so bad. My lips are just like super dry, and it's almost distracting to me. When my lips are dry, it distracts me. And then I always apply moisturizer before makeup application. It just makes the world of a difference. Even if you moisturized like 3 hours ago, put a little bit more on before you do your makeup. So I've recently been using this one by Olay. It's the Active Botanicals Intensive Night Cream. I know this is technically a night cream, but I like really hydrating moisturizers, so I just pick up a little bit, a lot less than I would use at nighttime, but because my skin is dry, I really like rich, creamy moisturizers. And I just moisturize my skin all over. And then this is just kind of an extra bonus step. If I find that I have any particularly really dry patches on my face, I will go in with the Milk Makeup Hydrating Oil Stick. So for example, I don't have any dry patches today, but if I were, let's just say I have one under my chin, I pick up a little bit of the face oil on my fingertip, and I would just kind of like really massage it into the dry patch, like push the oil into the dry skin, and then it keeps the dry patch hydrated for all day so that I don't have any problems with the skin starting to look flaky. So I'll put a little bit on the corners of my nose because sometimes I tend to get a little bit dry there, but just to, you know, show you guys for reference, I find that this helps really well with dry patches, but also if you just kind of like double up on moisturizer on extra dry areas, I find that works for me as well. So what I like to do is just pick a good face primer that's going to be great for all over the face to keep my skin nice and hydrated all day. So I really love the Laura Mercier Hydrating Primer. I just take a huge little bead of it and I'll apply this all over my skin, and then it will keep all my makeup on a lot longer, and it just keeps my skin nice and moist during makeup application. And in between steps, you do have to wait, you know, 30 seconds to a minute just to kind of give products a moment to really set into your skin. Now, because my T-zone does tend to get really oily throughout the day, I like to put something mattifying in my T-zone or just on my nose. So today I'm gonna go in with the NYX Angel Veil. It's a really nice, lightweight, mattifying primer. If you don't want your entire face to be matte, then only put this on the areas that you get oily. If you want your entire face to be matte, then you can apply this all over your face. I might have even used a little bit too much, but I'll just kind of work it into my T-zone. After primers, when I like to go in with illuminator, or you can choose to mix your illuminator in with your foundation. Today, I'm just gonna do my illuminator underneath foundation. I'm gonna be using Revlon Photo Ready Skin Lights in Bare Light. You just want to shake it up, and I just apply it straight to the back of my hand and pick it up. And I'll avoid any area that I don't want to look oily. So I usually don't like to put this in my T-zone, but sometimes I do. It just depends on my mood. But for the most part, if you're oily, just concentrate this on the high points of your face where you want it to peek out behind foundation. So I zoomed you guys in to show you how much of a difference a product like this can make. This is the Smashbox Photo Op Under Eye Brightener, and this is essentially an under eye brightener that doesn't give coverage but gives the illusion of brightness, and it illuminates the under eye so that in turn you have to wear less under eye concealer, thus less coverage, and making your makeup look a lot more natural. So I'm just going to pop this right under my eye, both of them, and I also put it in this little spot right here because you do get darkness down there sometimes. Then before it dries, you just take your finger, tap it into the skin, and you guys will see how much brighter my, see, it really makes your under eyes look so much brighter, but there's no coverage, so it's really awesome, and you can wear it without any other makeup. So right now, my favorite lighter coverage foundation is Bare Minerals Bare Pro. Now this is really full coverage to the extent that you can build it upon itself to get full coverage, but just a little bit, it looks so beautiful sheer across the skin and is almost undetectable. It really doesn't look like you're wearing makeup. So I'm going to be using my Bare Minerals Bare Pro today, and my application method of choice is definitely the Beauty Blender. And what I like to do is actually take some Matte Fix Plus and spray the Beauty Blender. That way you just get like a little bit of that glycerin on the sponge, and then it'll just like look a lot more dewy and flawless. And I'm gonna dot it on the face only where I need the coverage. So that's the biggest trick, is only putting foundation where you need it. I feel like my nose has a lot of redness, and then I like to do a little bit in the center of my face. I do have some discoloration on my chin, so I like to hide that. And then go in with the sponge and just blend it out, but keep the product where you need the coverage. So don't pull the product everywhere, because then you're just gonna be putting coverage everywhere. So keep the coverage where you want it. And that's why I like to use the Beauty Blender, because you can really stipple the product in place. So this is my face after the selected foundation application. So I like to concentrate it in the center of my face and a little bit under my eyes just for a little bit more coverage. But I kind of avoided, you know, the perimeter of my face and anywhere where I felt like I didn't need it. And I think that's the secret to getting foundation to look like you're not wearing any at all. Now I'm gonna brighten my under eyes using NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Creme Brulee. And I think the trick to this, to getting it to look like you're not wearing a lot of makeup, is to not do the standard like under the eye triangle, because that does give a very flawless appearance. So less is gonna be more. So just work your way by starting off with a little bit, and then you can always add more. I might have even done just a touch too much. I could have probably used a little bit less. Actually, I definitely could have used a little bit less. But then I'm just gonna pick it up with my Beauty Blender, and that'll pick up any excess product so that it doesn't look too intense. And sometimes while I'm blending, what I like to do is actually just take a little bit more Fix Plus and always kind of move it around on your hand, and then blend more. And the Fix Plus also really helps make things look more natural. So if I feel like I've been a little bit too heavy-handed, Really? So if I feel like I've been a little bit too heavy-handed, the Fix Plus always helps. I personally find that cream products tend to look more natural, realistic, more skin-like, so I'm going to be using a lot of creams for this tutorial. So I'm going to do a little bit of a cream contour. I'm going to be using this Julep Cushion Complexion 5-in-1 Skin Perfector, and I'm taking it in the shade 430, which is Clove, and I'm going to do a little bit of a liquid contour. Then blend it out with my beauty blender. Rather than pull the blend down, I like to pull the blend upward to give the illusion of higher cheekbones. So instead of, blending down this way, you want to blend up. And I'm using the side of my beauty blender, just kind of pinching it. I'm going to take a little bit around my forehead just to contour like the perimeter of my forehead. I'm also going to go down the sides of my nose. And then I do a little bit around the mouth just to make my lips look a little bigger. You can also just take a little bit in the crease of the eye to add a little bit of definition there. And then I'm going to be using a cream blush, one of my all-time favorites. This is Bobbi Brown's Pot Rouge in Milk Chocolate. I like this because instead of a pink or a purple or an orange, it just looks really natural and subtle on the skin. So my favorite way to do this is just pick it up on my fingertips, apply the excess on the back of my hand like this. You guys can see it's really intensely pigmented, so you have to be a little bit careful the first time you apply it, and just tap it onto the apples of my cheeks. It just looks a lot more like a real flush. It doesn't look like makeup. I'm going to be using a cream highlighter as well, so I'm going to use the Almay Highlighting Duo, the cream stick side. And I'm just going to apply this like right down the center of my nose, the bridge of my nose. I'm going to apply it right under my brow bone, cupid's bow, top of the cheekbones. I'll also put a little bit on the inner corners of my eyes and just blend it out with my fingers. And then I'm going to set the face with a little bit of pressed powder. So I'm going to be using NYX No Filter powder. I wear the shade Light Beige. I'm going to pick this up on my beauty blender just like this. I just kind of rub all the sides on it so that I get a good amount of powder. And I like this powder because it's got a really subtle sheen to it, so it never looks chalky or flat. And I'm just going to set my under eyes and my T-zone. And then what I like to do is always go in with a little bit of powder bronzer just to kind of smooth everything together, and it also will set the cream products and make them last longer. So I'm going to use Casino by NARS. This is the sun-drenched version, I believe. And I'm just going to pick it up on an angled brush, and I'm going to apply this everywhere I put the cream bronzer. Well, it's not really cream bronzer, it's the contour shade. And I'm also just going to use it to kind of warm up my skin also. And then I will go in with the Tatcha Dewy Luminous Skin Mist. I'll just do about 2 sprays on my face just for some added luminosity. I'm going to finish off the rest of my face, and then I'll show you guys the last couple steps. So I definitely think that this is a really good stopping point. You get all the benefits of like a full coverage, flawless looking face without it looking like too much makeup. But let's say you wanted to intensify a couple things for your own liking. So if you wanted to intensify the highlight, but you don't want it to look artificial, but you just want something a little bit more than this, I would say go for something that's more of a sheeny type of highlight rather than something that's like full on metallic. So like the Becca highlighters, they might be a little bit too intense for this type of look, but if that's what you want, that's what you want. I'm not like trying to tell you what to do, but I'm just saying. So I would personally go for something like the Smashbox. This is the Casey Holmes Spotlight palette, and these are highlights that are these highlights are a little bit more of a sheen. Rub the excess off on the back of my hand just so that we don't accidentally overpower it. And just like lightly tap that on top of the cream highlight. And you guys can see it just instantly intensifies the highlight. But then if you guys like that super highlighted look, That's all you have to do, just put a little bit more on top. So basically what I'm saying is once you guys have done the initial powder setting of the face, to intensify anything that you used a cream product for, you'll have to go in with a powder counterpart. So powder bronzer, powder highlight, powder blush, powder anything, yeah, that's about it. You'll just have to go in with a powder, because if you go back in with a cream, you can kind of disrupt formulations and things might start to look patchy, or they'll kind of wear off weird throughout the day. And if you guys happen to have any other questions about this tutorial, products or application method or prep steps, anything that you probably have a question about that I didn't touch in this video, leave a comment down below and I will of course get back to you. I'm also gonna have product links, information in the description box, as well as my Snapchat, my Instagram, and my Twitter. So please be sure to come follow me on there and say hey. Say hey in the comments too, because I love talking to you guys. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you didn't earlier. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching this one. Bye guys!